Alright guys, just want to go over a short video about the dangers of bad habits and gambling. So in the last video I posted, if you've watched it, went over about creating habits and creating good habits with your trading. So I just want to go over a few points here about the difference between obviously trading and gambling. So point number one, if we ain't sticking to our rules and our plans, the territory we place ourselves in shifts from trading to gambling. As we all know, if we're not sticking to a plan and we rely on hope on our trades, we're in gambling territory. So it no longer are we trading. If we're holding something we know it's not working, we're just gambling with money. And more often or not, it doesn't work out. Few reasons we gamble is for the adrenaline rush and to make money. So that sounds familiar to all of us. I'm not saying we all day trade for the adrenaline rush, but we all certainly trade to make money. So to counter that, if we want to make money, we don't want to be losing money. So that's something to be aware of. That's something to keep in mind. We're here to make money. We're not here to lose money. So back to our brain. When we gamble, our brain releases a feel-good chemical called dopamine, which you probably heard of. It's a feel-good neurotransmitter, and it's also involved in reinforcement. So things like eating, shopping, winning money, all gives you a dopamine release in your brain. So what we got to be careful of here is it's also involved in reinforcement. So step 4, the danger of dopamine hits, it's the same with someone with an addiction, is our brain gets used to feeling and requires a bigger hit. This can be reckless in trading. This is why building good habits is crucial, not to get ourselves to a stage where we take on bigger risks and more reckless in our trading. So I've done it myself trading. If you get accustomed to taking these losses and you've got the account to take more losses, the chances are you're going to be more reckless. If you need that bigger dopamine hit, for the adrenaline side, or to win back your money, revenge trading, whatever, that can lead you down, a pretty reckless path. So you got to be careful that when you're doing this, your risks are now getting bigger and bigger, and you're now getting more reckless and reckless because, last week you got used to losing so much, so this week you're going to try and win it back, but not only going to try and win it back, you're going to risk more to win it back because you've got accustomed to the losses you previously took. Do you get me? So that's something you've got to be careful of. It can get addictive, just like anything else. And like I said, it all boils down to, are you gambling or are you trading? Because some people, I've seen it, they got large accounts, and because they started off trading, and because they took a few $100 risk last week and it didn't work out, and they've done after a few weeks, they've started to up it to not only get their cash back, but they're just so accustomed to taking these small losses, they're willing to increase to even more loss, and it just gets worse and worse and worse until they blow their accounts or they've lost every penny that they got. So it can get reckless. You've got to understand when you get in from trading to gambling and what the long-term bad effects are going to be if you are doing that. So what's the solutions? Some things, just like any other addiction or any other bad habit you need to break, is, which I found useful myself, is create good habits, i.e. routines outside of trading that require routine. You've all read or seen or heard it many times, if as soon as you get up in the morning, make your bed. Do something in the morning that's going to set the pace for the rest of the day, habit-wise. Do things outside of trading. Point number 2, create organisation in your life, in and out of trading. Everything's a snowball effect throughout your day. So what you got to realise is, the more disciplined and the more organised you are outside of trading, that's going to spill over into trading. It's the same with trading and outside of trading. The more disciplined you can be in your life, the more rules, routines and good habits you can set yourself outside of trading, you're going to take all that discipline, you're going to take all that momentum into trading. So the more organised you are, the more disciplined, the more good you are at sticking to schedules or sticking to routines or sticking to good habits outside of trading, it will spill over into trading. So there's no reason then, when you take these trades, that you ain't accustomed to sticking to your plan and sticking to your rules, because you're a person of habit, you're a person of good habit, you're a person of routine that can do these, that has been practicing these habits, that have built the neurotransmitters in your brain to stick to these habits. So this is very underrated and very important to go forward into your trading. And also, the other important thing is to realize when it's happening. So when you recognize a fault or a bad habit, it's a lot easier to change. Don't if it's pointed out to you, don't get discouraged or angry if someone is trying to help you in any bad habit or in your trading when they tell you you're doing something wrong, or you're getting led on the wrong path, or you shouldn't be doing this. Take note, recognize if you are doing it, and then address the situation. And by doing these, building good habits, building routines outside of trading, sticking to those habits and sticking to those routines, they'll carry over into trading and they make you a better trader. So even starting today after watching this video, get into some good habits, build those neurotransmitters in your brain to keep those habits up over time. Make it like a routinely thing you're not even thinking of, you're just doing it. And again, what I said in the last video, that'll carry over to your trading, and then getting out of these losses and getting out of these bad ways is going to be automatic for you, and it's going to make you a better trader. Trading, I believe, is more mental than it is physically taking the trades. So if you can get your mind right, you can get disciplined in your mind, you can get organized via your plans, and more importantly, you can build these habits so you're sticking to them. It's going to work out well. Going back to the trading side, we can't control what the market does, but we can control what we do. We can control our discipline, we can control our good habits, and we can control implementing them into anything we do, not just trading. So the dark side of all this, guys, is and the worry in trading is the bigger losses, they will get bigger. The revenge trading, they're getting used to and accustomed to the road you're going down, which you shouldn't be, and then repeating those patterns, and then you'll build, like I said in the last video, you'll build on these habits, whether they're good or bad. So that's the danger. So you've got to stop and ask yourself, do you want to go down the road of building good habits, or do you want to go down the road of building bad habits? You've got to stop it when you recognize that it's happening. And that's not saying you're going to have a bad day or a good day, because some trades I took, there was one recently, I think it was a week before last, I probably had my biggest win of the week, and it was my worst trade. I traded bad on it. So although cash wise it was my biggest win of the week, I traded terrible. The first thing I done was go back over that trade and make sure I didn't repeat that process, because I knew I got lucky on that trade. It was nothing to do with my trading plan, and it was nothing to do with the market. It was pure luck. I got out of that trade green from pure luck. And this ain't about the odd bad day or the odd bad week. This is about repeatedly doing the same things over and over and expecting different results. And if you keep doing things that are detrimental to your emotions or detrimental to your trading, it ain't going to change until you change. So practice doing these, practice good habits. More importantly, practice routinely things that you're going to stick to day after day after day, and it'll spill over into your trading.